UNC has always felt like home to me. I came here as a freshman, to study and get a degree. And a lot of really wonderful things happened along the way. Met my wife. I only was away from Chapel Hill and UNC for 3 years. Those 3 years I was in the Army. This was during the time when the Vietnam War was going on, but I ended up flying helicopters. Well, when I came back, I finished my degree and then got a job at School of Public Health, and then got a job working at the Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center. And that's been my career home. And it's been a phenomenal 30 years there. When you find out you got cancer, and then what do you think? Well, who am I gonna find to help me get through this, if I can get through this? And lo and behold, there I was, 30 years, wonderful years working at the cancer center, and all I got to do was go across the street to the cancer hospital and let them pick it up and see what they can do. Now, it's a light way of saying that, but that's, in a way, that's kind of how I felt about that.
Mr. Oglesby presented to my medical oncology clinic actually about 10 years ago. He presented during what I think is probably the most stressful time of a cancer diagnosis, and that's at the very beginning when there's a lot of uncertainty regarding the diagnosis, the stage, and the treatment plan.
It was a shocker. I felt fine. Didn't feel bad, didn't feel fatigued, just felt good, but I had a cough. And the cough that I had kind of kept on going, even though I had a cold. It felt like I had a cold. It just seemed like it was taking longer than it normally would.
So he initially presented with some upper respiratory symptoms, I think, and his wife encouraged him to not ignore them and to seek medical care. Historically, I would not have done that because I didn't feel that bad. Something happened, and I don't know what it was. But I turned around, I went. I said, okay, I'm gonna go. He was ultimately found to have a mass in his lung with some swollen lymph nodes, and also a spot that had spread or metastasized to the brain.
Brain tumor. That began to scare me a lot.
Initially, Steve underwent resection or surgical removal of the mass that had been identified in his brain. That led us to understand that he did in fact have metastatic melanoma. And then he initiated what we call immunotherapy, or treatment strategies that are designed to boost the immune system to fight the melanoma.
Early on, they got a team approach, and that's what's really important, I think, at UNC, is that team approach, and it works. And it led to this. Here I am. I feel great.
And here Steve is, 10 years later, he's doing really well, he's in great health. He has, for all intents and purposes, been cured of metastatic melanoma. We always continue to monitor these folks and make sure there's no worrisome signs for recurrence, but he's really done well. And I think there's a lot of reasons that Steve has done so well. He's a really positive guy. He approaches every situation with, I think, a genuine curiosity and interest in understanding what's going on, what part can he play to be an active, I think, participant in his care.
Overall, my care at UNC was absolutely wonderful. I had this feeling of ease, just comfort, just the people and the way they treated me. Carrie Lee, Dr. Lee, and Paula Landman. Just those two people right there made a huge difference in everything. And it's just the kind of people they are and how they come across. It's just amazing.
We love Mr. Oglesby. He's just a delightful gentleman. And I can tell you that, I'll start with the pin. So he gave me this pin probably, it's been at least 6 or 7 years ago probably. And at least 3 times a week, a new patient or an old patient says, "Are you military? Are you in the Army?" And I said, "No, but let me tell you the story."
The pin that you saw was a 1st Cavalry pin. And that was the group that I flew with in Vietnam. And the reason that I gave it to them is because to me that's what, when you're on a cavalry team, it's something that you give to the other people that have had a positive impact on you. I wanted to give them something that showed how much it meant to me, giving them a thank you, a real heartfelt thank you. Of course, the treatments worked, absolutely they worked, but it's more than that to me. It was how I felt about them, the comfort I felt about them.
He's just a joyful person who is so grateful and appreciative. He will randomly during the year send us an email. I'm in my garden, look at the beautiful flowers, I'm so thankful to you.
Don't give up. That's just one of the most important things. If you give up, it's just, not 100% of the time, but it's going to make it hard for any treatment to actually do what it needs to do.
Patients who are facing a new cancer diagnosis, I think it's important to maintain hope from the very beginning. So much has changed over the years in terms of how we treat cancer, how well cancer patients do with these new therapies, largely a result of research. We're really, really fortunate to have the UNC Lineberger Comprehensive Cancer Center here, where we have the ability to offer research options to our patients.
It's something that I will never forget. And they're close to me. I feel close to them, and I hope they do to me. I feel like they're family, just because of the wonderful people they are.